But the lessons that you're teaching, especially our teenagers who enroll in your Circus Mojo, you're teaching them more than a good laugh. You're teaching them self-esteem, and the skills that they learn have to make them feel on top of the world.
Well, kids want attention. You know, as you get older, kids, you know, sometimes they act out to get attention, whether it's, you know, throwing eggs on a building or, you know, making fun of people or doing it.
Sure.
If you can get attention for learning how to juggle or for walking on a ball or stilt walking, I mean, what kid doesn't want to be 6 inches taller or 2 feet taller than they are? You know, and then that starts to really resonate with the kid, and especially teenagers, you know, teaching them to walk on a big ball. It's not easy, and then they fall off the ball, and we'll catch them before they hit the ground. So this bond of trust is built immediately.
Wow.
It's not like, hey, I'll be there for you, man, I'll be there for you. No, you literally are there for them,
Yes.
and then you really start to be able to connect with them on a lot of other levels, and they really listen. It's a whole different lesson. Like, it's a tangible. You know, I think it's hard for teenagers to understand the concepts of, you know, maybe some math or English or geography, but it's like when you struggle to learn how to juggle, and finally you do it, you taste success.
Yes.
And then it's a little bit easier to work on walking on a tight wire. It's not as easy as juggling, but they really focus on it, they work on it, and then it's like, wow, I can do something that nobody else can do.
And these tangible lessons are really learned in a classroom in Ludlow.
Yeah. Well, I looked around at a couple different spaces. I looked at the old Green Line bus depot in Newport, way too big. The Marianne Theater right down from the chocolate shop in Bellevue, you know.
There you go.
But Ludlow ended up just having this perfect space. And the floor, it was a clutch manufacturing facility, so the floor is level. You know, most theaters are built on the incline, so you can't you can't work on circus on it. Well, you could, but it's pretty dangerous then. So this space in Ludlow opened up, and right next door to it, there's an old liquor store that has an apartment upstairs, so that's where Emmanuel lives, upstairs in these circus apartments, the circus suites, and downstairs is a little studio we're working on right now. And you know, Ludlow is a really great place to, you know, all the kids when they're walking home from school. That's how we recruited.
Yeah,
We did a show in the parking lot for like 40 kids. We stopped traffic on Route 8, and the kids were like, oh, let me get in there. So it's really, you know, build it and they will come kind of scenario.
Well, and you take your show on the road as well. You go to different schools, different places in the greater Cincinnati to find your students.
Yeah, and even beyond that, in January 2nd, Emmanuel and 2 other Circus Mojo performers, we were in Houston, Texas, at Texas Children's Hospital.
Cool.
And it was really neat because there we are teaching kids how to spin a plate, how to bounce a feather, and these were kids who are on dialysis. They have renal failure, kidney, and it was so neat to have those kids working alongside their siblings how to spin a plate. And when we're working at hospitals and you teach a kid to spin a plate, and the doctor can't spin the plate, and the nurse can't spin the plate, and the kid can do it, so the kid's like, look what I've got that you don't have. So it's really this whole flipping the status, you know, and that's the clown's role. Like the ringmaster is the authority in the circus, and the clown always undermines the ringmaster. And the audience ends up really loving the clown, and so like that's my whole philosophy.
You let all levels of people be clowns, whether they're children at your Circus Silly Willy or you have the adult classes. You offer it to corporate entities as well, you know, and nobody likes to see anybody better than their boss be a clown.
Well, you know, every office has someone who can juggle. Every office has someone who can still do a cartwheel or a back walkover, you know, and when the clown will take when the boss will take a pie in the face, you know, nothing like morale for that, you know. But what we do is we begin in the morning with everyone working on some exercises, and then each group picks a specific specialty, the trapeze, the tight wire, juggling. And at the end of the day, we put on a show with full lights and costumes, and their spouses come, and the sales team comes, and the sales team's like, when do we get the circus? And the boss says, well, when you hit $2 million in sales, that's when you get a circus workshop. So it's really great, this whole like momentum thing, you know. So.
Well, you also allow that momentum to flow to children with special needs. You offer workshops for them as well. So no matter what your level of expertise, no matter what your age level, these guys really have a program that's suited to you. You can find out about them at circusmojo.com, or for the little ones from 2 to 6 at circussillywilly.com. And we're going to have these silly willies in the production area as they're going to perform for us and show you exactly what they do at their school when we come back from commercial, right here on Northern Kentucky Magazine on ICN 6.